How are you doing? Are you planning a trip soon? If so, are you planning to stay inside the country or are you going to be traveling outside of the country? Planning a trip inside the country is much easier to do and safer to do than planning a trip outside the country. I'm going to cover some tips on a trip to Sweden and the do's and don'ts. So please stay with me until the end of the video because I'm going to cover some tips that can be a matter of life or death. Thank you for joining me. I'm JDH with health tips on things that keep you safe and healthier. I also own CBD Apothecary, and we carry a full line of CBD products and also health and wellness products that also keep you safe and healthier. If you would please subscribe to my channel by clicking on the red button, and also if you would click on the bell, that way you'll be notified when I cover future topics. If you like the video, if you'll please give me a big thumbs up, I would appreciate that. Also, if you have questions or comments, please drop those in the comments section. If there is a health topic that you would like to learn more about, please drop that in the comments below. Now let's talk about planning our trip to Sweden. The first thing that you need to do when traveling anywhere outside of the country is to make sure all of your vaccinations are up to date and current. This includes MMR, which is your measles, mumps, and rubella. You need to make sure you have your tetanus shot, your chickenpox vaccine, your polio vaccine, your flu and pneumonia vaccine, and you also need to talk with your doctor about getting a hepatitis A and a rabies vaccine. And again, I'm going to talk more about that at the end of the video if you'll just stay with me. Okay, the first thing we want to talk about is eating and drinking safely. While the water standards in Sweden are pretty much similar to the water standards here in the United States, you don't need to take very much precautions beyond what you would normally take here when you eat or drink. However, if you are traveling in the rural areas of Sweden, you do need to take precautions with the water. Remote areas are served by unregulated water sources such as private wells, and because of that you need to take precautions when drinking water or using it to wash your hands or anything else in that area. The next thing we want to talk about is preventing bug bites. If you're going to spend time outside or in the woods, take special precaution to prevent bug bites that can spread disease. Wear long sleeve shirts like I have on, wear long pants, wear a hat of some type, use appropriate insect repellent, and be sure to reapply every few hours because it does wear off and the sweat can wash it away or dilute it. Make sure you use repellent that contains at least 20% DEET, and that way you'll keep yourself safe. Now, what should I do if I get bitten? First thing you want to do is avoid scratching. Apply hydrocortisone cream or a calamine lotion to help reduce the itching. Be sure to check your entire body for ticks after being outside or in the woods, and also check your clothing. Next thing we want to talk about is how to avoid bed bugs. These critters don't carry diseases, but they do travel, and they travel wonderfully. And they can cause you tremendous trouble if they get on your clothing or in your suitcase and travel back home with you and get into your house. Bed bugs usually live within 8 feet of where people sleep. So if possible, keep your suitcase and your clothes outside of this range. Bed bugs usually travel in the seams of suitcases. They'll get into overnight bags or folded clothes or other similar means. Bed bugs affect each person differently. The responses range from nothing to a very serious allergic reaction. If you have this allergic reaction or any type of reaction, seek medical attention right away. Another thing that people always forget is to carry a first aid kit with you. That's whether you're traveling inside the United States or outside. You should always have a first aid kit with you in your suitcase or in your car. The next thing is if you are swimming in some place besides a chemically treated swimming pool that's been chemically treated with chlorine and things, be careful not to swallow or inhale the water because untreated water carries germs. All right, next thing, stay away from animals. Do not touch or feed animals of any type. Do not allow any animal to lick open wounds that you might have or to get saliva in your eyes or your mouth. Animals that pose a threat are dogs, bats, monkeys, sea animals, jellyfish, and of course the dreaded snake. If you're bitten or scratched by any of these animals, immediately wash the wound with soap, clean water, and then go to a doctor immediately and seek attention. Then once you come back home to the United States, make sure that you go to your doctor and let them know what happened and let them check it out. All right? The next thing, to reduce your exposure to germs. Follow these steps to avoid getting sick or spreading illnesses to others while traveling. Wash your hands in clean water often, and especially before eating. Use soap and clean water. If that's not available, use hand sanitizer. And use hand sanitizer that has at least a minimum of 60% alcohol. Don't touch your eyes or your nose or your mouth if you haven't washed your hands. If you need to touch your face, make sure that you get a tissue or something until you can get your hands clean. Cover your nose and your mouth with either a tissue or your sleeve. That way you prevent spreading germs. Do not use your hands. Okay? Avoid people that you know are sick, or if you are sick, stay in your hotel until you feel better. The next thing we want to talk about is to avoid non-sterile medical or cosmetic equipment. Be sure to wait until you're in the United States to get a tattoo. But if for some reason you must get that tattoo while you're in Sweden, be sure that the tattoo parlor that you choose has an autoclave sterilizer. This is what the operating rooms in the United States use to sterilize their surgical equipment. And most tattoo artists in the United States have these to use to sterilize their gun, their tattoo gun. Make sure that you see the artist open up a brand new needle and a brand new paint cup package in front of you. If you do not see him do this, get up and leave. Because these are the things that are how to keep you safe and how to keep you from getting diseases that can kill you. Do not share any type of makeup brushes, mascara, eyelash curlers that can pass germs. Also, don't get your makeup tattooed on either unless these conditions of an autoclave sterilizer and opening the brand new needle and opening the brand new paint cups is also adhered to. Okay, so at the beginning of the video, I told you I would tell you some serious things to watch out for and what you needed to do. There was an outbreak of hepatitis A throughout the world and in Sweden, and Sweden was impacted. So you need to be sure you get your hepatitis A vaccine before traveling to Sweden, because hepatitis A can contaminate food and water in Sweden. So please be sure to get that vaccine or you are at risk for getting hepatitis A. The other thing to watch out for when you're traveling to Sweden are the bats. There are an abundance of bats and they carry rabies. It is highly present in bats that are in Sweden. So you need to be sure you get your rabies vaccine before traveling, especially if you plan to do outdoor activities or go caving or go to remote areas. There is a risk for bat bites, and it is very difficult, guys, to tell if you've been bitten by a bat. Okay? Let's go over the key points again. And if you'd like, grab you a pen and a piece of paper and write them down. So I'll go over them again. I'll give you just a second to grab a pen and a piece of paper, and we'll go over the highlights and the high points again. All right, let's go. Number 1, get vaccinated. Number 2, eat and drink safely. Number 3, prevent bug bites. Number 4, check for and avoid bed bugs. Number 5, keep away from animals. Number 6, reduce your exposure to germs. And number 7, avoid non-sterile medical or cosmetic equipment, such as tattooing. I hope this will keep you safe when you're traveling to Sweden and have a much enjoyed trip. Thank you for watching. And we talked about, I traveled to Mexico recently, and my spouse came home sick from E. coli, which we think came from a stray dog who licked him in the mouth. Or we think it came from some chorizo, which didn't taste very well either, which made for a lousy trip experience. So tell us about your travels when you come back, or if you've already taken travels. Tell us about whether you had some lousy experiences or some good experiences. Drop those down in the comments, and I'd love to see those, and I'm sure everyone else would, and it'd be helpful for others who are traveling. Please remember, subscribe to my channel and click on the bell if you would like to be notified when I do my next video. I hope you all have safe travels, and until I see you again, may God bless you.